was young, as far back as I can remember, I always, when I thought of such things, I thought of myself as what's called an atheist, a person who claims that they know there is no creator, there is no God, that everything just is, and there's no source for everything. And so for basically the first 40 years of my life, that's what I believed and claimed. I was attracted to literature and people who adhered to that or claimed that belief. Like Ayn Rand was an author I liked that proclaimed this philosophy called objectivism, which basically means we are our material makeup, and that's life. It's the things you can see, taste, smell, touch, hear, our senses, the physical world. That's what reality is all based in. And as I entered into my 40s and started looking a little harder, and started realizing there's certain things, even though I couldn't really express them, I've since learned them in a clearer way. I started realizing that there are things that people need, and not just some people, but everyone needs, everyone desires, everyone craves. It's these universal things, and those being love and acceptance and purpose. That is, as the individual, each individual desires these things, whether they express it themselves. We all universally have these desires deep within us. It just, we learn so early that it seems like that's unattainable. There's no such thing as perfect love. There's no such thing as perfect acceptance. That you could actually know your purpose and then fit into it in this world. You just got to find the best thing you can find and do the best you can with what you got, because people abandon you. People accept you one minute and they don't the next. Who knows what your purpose is? You might be lucky. You might be down. You might be unlucky. You might be down at the train station when your bus comes in, or at the bus station when your ship comes in, or whatever it is. Those are the type of thoughts I used to think, that because I live in a random universe that has no purpose and no designer or no creator, that who knows? You either luck out or you don't. In the meantime, you try your best, and someday you die, and that's it. It's all over. But as I grew older, I started realizing that maybe that's not the case. Maybe when my own so-called logical scientific thinking informed me that it couldn't be, after I started observing things, that simply because time and matter and space, these are all things that exist. They are not something that can create themselves. Things that exist had to have a start, that had to have a creation. Things don't, even time itself and space itself, which you say, well, that's not a thing. But they had to have a beginning. They had something or someone had to cause them to be. Look in the Bible, and it's the very first page, the very first sentence was, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So I see that there's at least one place where it claims that something, someone who is immaterial, timeless, and spaceless, created all those things, matter, time, and space. It had to be someone without those qualities or characteristics that created them. And so began a search for that meaning, that purpose, for the reality that is beyond what we can see, beyond what is the lie that we are told from that beginning, very beginnings of life, when we find out that there is no perfect love, that there is no perfect acceptance, that there is no purpose that you can know to your life. I'm starting to see that no, that's not true. Not just because it's unfair that we would live in an unjust universe, but when you look at the perfection of the universe, the absolute perfection. I'm not a scientist, but I listen to these guys talk and read some of their stuff, and they say if the universe was off just one tiny bit, one subatomic particle was out of sync, the whole thing would be absolute chaos. So there had to be design, or else it would be chaos. Because if it was random, randomness is chaos. So if I'm not taking too much liberty to say that if the universe is that way, then the life that we know must have at least available to us such an order, such a perfection, such a reality that delivers the thing that we all universally desire. Perfect love, perfect acceptance, purpose, an actual meaning to life that can be lived. It must exist. And I just wanted in a short little message, hopefully short, and it soon, I found that in the pages of the Bible, and more accurately in the spirit of my Creator, that as I have sought Him with my heart and not with someone else's religion or someone else's doctrine or someone else's denomination, as I've sought Him with my heart, He has spoken to my heart, not in verbal words, but He has informed me that there is such a thing as a perfect love, as a perfect acceptance, as a purpose for me as one who was created by Him with a purpose in mind that He had in mind. And He has that for each and every one of us as an individual God who is just as individual as each of the individuals He made. He has ideas for you. He thinks you're wonderful. He thinks you're awesome. That's why He made you. He thinks your mind is beautiful, and He loves the things that comes out of it. He loves the ideas you have. He loves the quirks. He loves your personality. He loves everything about it because He made you. And it was for a purpose. It was because He loves you perfectly and accepts you perfectly in all that quirkiness and all those differences. So the world tells you you're cool here, you're uncool there, you're accepted here, you're unaccepted there. Just conform, okay? Just get with it. Just make something of yourself, would you? And God says, I love the way you are. I love everything about you. Could you just settle down for a minute and just get to know me, who I am? And that's all I wanted to say here basically is get to know Him. He's an individual just like you, and just like the people you've known that have loved you and accepted you and have betrayed you and turned their back on you, except He won't ever do the latter. He only loves and accepts you. He's perfect, but He is an individual, and He actually has a life He's living, and it's a wonderful life. It's an amazing life, and He wants you to be a part of it. That's why He made you, so you could be a part of that amazing life that is endless in discovery and mysteries sought and answered, and some never. But even that, even in those unanswered mysteries, there is wonder, there is splendor, there's awesome, unspeakable riches, as His word says, if I can remember real quick, in Romans 11:33, it says, oh, the depths of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God. That's beautiful language from the heart of Paul, who discovered this awesome love, this wonderful, amazing God who loves and accepts everyone He made, because He didn't make people so He could be disgusted with them. He didn't make you so He could cast you away. He made you so you could know Him and you could get to know each other on a daily basis. Just like you get to know the people you love and know, work with, live with, experience life with Him, and know that He is the one that answers all those needs that you have. And I know you have them because you're a human being just like me. We're not unique in that. We all have that same need to be loved and accepted, and He's the only one that can deliver it. And He adds these other little things like nature and like friends and family and neighbors and enemies, all of it, to make this experience more rich. But He's the only constant that stays there the whole time, perfectly loving you, perfectly accepting you, perfectly guiding you and teaching you and living with you. as you live your life with him in his. In Jesus' name.